CrossBracing, kuat, cepat, canggih. Smarter, stronger, adalah metode konstruksi yang banyak dipakai sebagai solusi signifikan terhadap kekuatan, efisiensi material dan kecepatan, walaupun tidak terbaru, seperti struktur kaki meja, namun praktiknya belum ditemukan di Indonesia saat 2024 ini. Mengapa demikian?
CrossBracing hanya bisa dikerjakan dengan baja dan hanya melayani konstruksi komposit. Metode ini berpeluang integrasi secara fleksibel dengan inovasi konstruksi mutakhir. Tidak mengejutkan jika mampu mencapai kinerja konstruksi yang spektakuler.
And you can bet your life it rains. Try to give a party and the guy upstairs complains. Guess I'll go through life just catching colds and missing trains. Everything happens to me. I never miss a thing. I've had the measles and the mumps. Every time I play an ace, my partner always trumps. Guess I'm just a fool who never looks before she jumps. Everything happens to me. At first I thought that you could break this jinx for me, that love could turn the trick to end despair. But now I just can't fool this head that thinks for me. Mortgaged all my castles in the air. I have telegraph and phone.
Together with our global resale network, you can enjoy technical support and training in your language, time zone, and building code. Thousands of customers use our software to perform millions of structural design calculations globally every month.
Sent an email special too. Your answer was goodbye, and there was even posted blue. Fell in love just once, and then it had to be with you. Everything happens to me. First I thought that you could break this jinx for me, that love would turn the trick to end despair. But now I just can't fool this head that thinks for me. Mortgaged all my castles in the air. I have telegraphed and phoned, sent an email special too. Your answer was goodbye, and there was even postage due. Fell in love just once, and then it had to be with you. Everything happens to me, for me. Everything happens to me. make a date for golf, and you can bet your life it rains. Try to give a party and the guy upstairs complains. Guess I'll go through life just catching colds and missing trains. Everything
to be how to fix the location of brushing. And okay, and you know that whenever we are thinking about the provision of bracing like this, okay, we are thinking about the wind load or the seismic load, okay, or rather you can say we are thinking about the lateral load. Okay, so definitely we have a medium-sized building, and the lateral load in the form of wind or in the form of earthquake can come from any side. Okay, so it is always better to provide the bracing or to fix the braced wave at the middle of the building. Okay, so this is about the general structure, right? Now let's say in the front of the building you have a large opening, right? So due to this large opening, which may be due to vehicular entry or maybe something else, okay, this particular zone or this particular portion become unstable. So in this location you need to provide some bracing for the lateral stability at your entrance. Okay, so in any general structure in association with this bracing which is being used for lateral load or the wind load or seismic load, you may need to use the bracing at the entrance also if this entrance gap is too much. Okay, so this is about the general structure. Now let's say the size of the building is too much or the length is too much. In that case, what will happen? Let's say the wind is coming or the seismic load is coming from this end. Okay, and let's say the middle bay is somewhere here, right? And from this point to this point, let's say this length is more or less 50 meters. In that case, of course, this wind load or this seismic load have to travel a long path to reach this point. In that case, I prefer to use two different braced bay at two different ends, right? So that if the wind is coming from this side, it can easily transfer to this foundation through this bracing, and if the wind is coming from this side, it can easily transfer to this foundation to this bracing. Okay, so here by this method we can reduce the load path, right? Now again there is a problem. Okay, let's say in between these two bracing, this length is 100 meters or maybe more than that. In that case, of course, due to thermal expansion or due to temperature effect, this particular zone try to expand, but at the both end you have locked the structure by the provision of bracing, as a result of which this expansion, this thermal expansion is resisted, or you can say indirectly that a huge amount of thermal stress will be generated. Okay, so it is always suggested if you have to use two different braced bay, always try to incorporate that in some middle portion of the structure, like here and here, so that in between two braced bay the length is not too much, which can cause you a large amount of thermal stress. Okay, so here I suggest to use the bracing like this and this. Okay, and also let's say instead of pile foundation you need to use the shallow foundation, okay, or the wrapped footing or the isolated footing. Okay, so in that case what will happen? So now we are not using this bracing, we are not using this bracing, we are using this bracing and this bracing to cater the thermal effect, right? Now let's say to provide the foundation for this column and this bracing, you have to use a shallow footing like this and here like this, and you know that the foundation requirement at the braced bay is higher compared to normal column. So in that case, what you can do, you can simply put two breastway side by side. Why? In that case, you can use this foundation as a common footing. Okay, so now what will happen? Instead of using these two braces, okay, we are using only this brace and this brace, and this is from economics point of view. Okay, so we have eliminated this one. Okay, so this is about wind load and seismic load and related to the structure of the building. Okay, now there is also cases related to the overhead.
So now I'm going to show you what it's like when we put the cross bracing on both sides. First, I'm going to pull it like I did before. I'm pulling pretty hard and it's not going anywhere. I'm going to push it and it's still not going anywhere. So if we had a big earthquake, pushing and pulling, this is much stronger than it was without the cross bracing. The great thing about Christchurch is the architecture has changed so much since the earthquake, and everywhere you look are examples of different cross bracing. This is the Ernest Rutherford building at the University of Canterbury. As you can see from the outside, you can see cross bracing throughout the entire building. So the big X's were just like we showed with the example. When the building goes this way and when the building goes that way, the cross braces help it keep straight. So what you normally think with cross bracing is an X, but actually it can be a lot of other shapes. As long as it's facing this direction and this direction, it doesn't matter where. So here you can see a good example. So instead of having this, it's just translated this way. But if you think about pushing the building that way or pushing the building that way, it's still holding up with those diagonal bracing. So up here, you still have your direction cross bracing going this way and this way. So it doesn't matter, again, as long as one is going this way and one is going this way, so that when we push the building on either direction, there is that cross bracing holding it up. So one last type of shape is eccentric bracing, where you have the two angles going together, and in the middle you have a joint where they don't fully connect, there's that gap, and that is called the sacrificial joint. So eccentric bracing, when the building shakes, all the forces are pushed into the middle. So if there is any destruction into the building, it will be in that small link, which then can be replaced and the building can be used again.